The emergency klaxons screamed through the corridors of Research Station Zeta-7 as Dr. Veleth's secondary hands trembled over the containment controls. The massive creature had broken free from its reinforced habitat in Sector 9 and now prowled the station's lower levels with murderous intent. "Status report," barked Commander Zix, his crystalline exoskeleton crackling with bioluminescent stress patterns. The Catherian's four eyes darted between the security feeds, showing twisted metal and scattered debris where Containment Unit 9 used to be. "The Shadow Maw breached at 0847 hours, reported Dr. Veleth, her tentacles dancing frantically across the holographic displays. "Initial containment protocols failed. The creature has already eliminated 3 security teams." On the main screen, grainy footage showed glimpses of the beast, a writhing mass of midnight black flesh, razor-sharp appendages, and too many teeth. The Shadow Maw was an apex predator from the death world of Nyx Prime, capable of phasing through solid matter and possessing reflexes that made even the galaxy's fastest warriors look like statues. "Evacuation status?" Zix demanded. 70% of personnel have reached the escape pods," another technician replied, his scales shifting to a sickly yellow. "But the creature has positioned itself near the main evacuation route. It's hunting." The commander's worst fears were confirmed as screams echoed through the comm system. The Shadow Maw wasn't just killing, it was toying with its prey, savoring the terror before striking. This was why civilized species had quarantined Nyx Prime centuries ago. "Sir," Dr. Veleth's voice cracked, "there's still one section that hasn't evacuated." The human researcher in Lab Complex C, Dr. Sarah Chen, refused to abandon her work. Zix's mandibles clicked in frustration. Humans, the galaxy's newest addition to the Galactic Council, were infuriatingly stubborn. Their species had only achieved interstellar travel 50 years ago, yet somehow they'd managed to earn respect through sheer bloody-minded determination. But this was suicide. "The human doesn't understand," he growled. "That creature has killed seasoned warriors from a dozen species. She needs to evacuate immediately." Before anyone could respond, the main display flickered to show Lab Complex C's security feed. Dr. Chen, a small human female with graying hair, was calmly packing research samples into a containment case. She moved with the unhurried precision of someone completely unaware that death stalked the corridors outside. Then the lights went out. Emergency illumination cast everything in hellish red as the Shadow Maw's distinctive shriek echoed through the complex. On thermal imaging, they watched the creature's heat signature phase through the laboratory's outer wall like it was made of paper. "No," Zix whispered, watching helplessly as certain doom approached the oblivious human. The Shadow Maw materialized in the lab, its form shifting between solid and ethereal. It was beautiful in its lethality. 12 feet of apex evolution designed for one purpose: killing. Multiple rows of crystalline teeth glinted in its elongated maw, while sensory tendrils tasted the air for fear pheromones. Dr. Chen looked up from her work. What happened next would be debated in xenobiology circles for decades. Instead of screaming or running, the human did something unprecedented. She sighed in mild annoyance and turned to face the creature directly. "Well, hello there," she said, her voice carrying clearly through the comm system. "You're not supposed to be here, are you?" The Shadow Maw paused, its predatory instincts momentarily confused. Where was the fear, the delicious terror that made prey so satisfying to consume? This small being radiated nothing but calm authority. Dr. Chen stepped forward, and every watching alien held their breath. "You're beautiful," she continued, studying the creature with scientific fascination rather than horror. "A perfect example of adaptive evolution. But you're scared, aren't you? All this noise, these strange smells, confined spaces, it's overwhelming." The Shadow Maw's tendrils writhed uncertainly. In its simple but effective neural structure, it processed this anomaly. Every other being it had encountered radiated the electromagnetic signature of fear. This one did not. "I know what you need," Dr. Chen said softly, reaching slowly into her lab coat. The creature tensed, ready to strike, But she only withdrew. A small device, a biometric scanner she'd been using for her research. To everyone's amazement, she began humming, a low, rhythmic sound that seemed to resonate in the lab's acoustics. The tune was hauntingly beautiful, something called a lullaby from human culture. The Shadow Maw's aggressive posture gradually relaxed. The creature had evolved on a world where sound meant survival. The gentle rumble of safe cave systems, the warning calls of packmates. This human's vocalizations triggered something deep in its genetic memory. "That's right," Dr. Chen murmured, slowly extending her hand. "You're not a monster. You're just lost." Commander Zix and his crew watched in stunned silence as the apex, predator that had terrorized their station, lowered its massive head and allowed the human to touch it. Dr. Chen's small hand rested on the creature's snout, as if she were petting a domestic animal. "Impossible," breathed Dr. Velith. "The fear response should be universal among prey species." But humans, as the galaxy was still learning, were never quite what they seemed. They were persistence hunters on their homeworld, a planet that had tried to kill them in every conceivable way. They had faced down creatures far larger than themselves with nothing but stone tools and unshakable determination. Fear was a luxury humans had learned to compartmentalize. "You need to go home." "Don't you?" Dr. Chen continued, still stroking the creature's hide. "These walls are too small for something as magnificent as you." She activated her biometric scanner, recording the creature's unique energy signature. The Shadow Maw, now completely docile, allowed her to complete her work with the patience of a well-trained pet. 20 minutes later, security teams found Dr. Chen leading the Shadow Maw by what could only be described as an improvised leash toward the station's transport bay. The creature followed her like an oversized, nightmarish dog. "How?" Commander Zix demanded as they watched the human load the apex predator into a transport pod programmed for Nix Prime. Dr. Chen shrugged, a peculiarly human gesture. "Fear is learned behavior, Commander. I just chose not to learn it. Besides," she added with a smile that sent chills down Zix's exoskeleton, "on Earth we have teenagers. Compared to that, alien death beasts are practically cuddly." As the transport pod launched toward the creature's homeworld, carrying its now content passenger, the station crew stood in amazed silence. The humans, it seemed, would never stop surprising them. Dr. Chen returned to her lab to finish packing, humming the same lullaby that had somehow tamed the untamable. In the vast cosmos filled with wonders and terrors, perhaps the most remarkable discovery wasn't a new species or technology. It was the reminder that sometimes the most powerful force in the universe was simply refusing to be afraid. The galaxy would remember this day, and perhaps, just perhaps, treat humanity with a little more respect.